Um, I'm going to talk about why it is important to become sustainable, and I one of the reasons is that the improper use of natural resources has impacted the way we live nowadays, where droughts, fires, and rise of sea levels have damaged communities without changing your minds or this issue. My contribution to wasteful war is clear because I never been raised as a consumer and I like the status of to be more eco-friendly. It is complex to change these trends of exploiting natural resources, but the radical change is necessary if you want to experience a new life based on being sustainable. My input in the poor use of natural resources is indicated by the way I consume food. I never had this perspective that food could have such an impact in the environment. And most of the times I wasted without thinking the process it took to get to my table. One example is the failure of seafood protection, which can have a tremendous effect around the world. To illustrate, when I was a child, my mom took me to the market and I bought shrimp seasoned with homemade spicy sauce and lime, and I ate more than I could eat. I have followed this trend for many years of eating without containing myself, and sometimes not finish at all. Excuse me. As I remember, as I walked through the halls in the market, different species of fish were laid out on the tables for sale. And seeing this exaggerated amount of fish amazed me because of the variety and the confidence that I will always be able to eat fish, especially salmon, one of my favorite uh, seafood. And despite the fact sometimes I wonder how many fish were in the oceans, I never feel like I was worried for one day we could have lack of this resource, since I haven't had a sense of food ever in my life that could have such that could change my view and be more conscious that the this the one day we can this could be become a problem. For instance, in the book Sustainability, the article Blue Jobs Key to Future Fisheries, Brian Henwerk discusses how fish is in their habitats have been harmed by the combination of consumption, and also Handwerk explains the importance of better management of how we caught fish, and regulations are necessary and new methods need to be applied if we want to keep balance in the balance of the natural life which depend on the oceans. I think it makes sense that it needs to be a balance. We cannot just be taken making sure to assure more production. Um, it is just one simple fact that we need to be sustainable in this regard. And to as a member of the club of millions of people who eat fish, I have encouraged production of fish to high levels. As Henwerk remarks, since the 20th century, industrial fishing operations have used ever improving technology to fish faster and longer, rapidly emptying waters of seafood and satisfy the hunger of Earth's growing population. I probably won't stop fisheries from drying oceans by catching fish, but my view have changed. If we take action at a small scale, perhaps small chances changes can occur. For good start can be to get more information how I can protect the oceans, or like how to not put my way on the pollution of the or eat what is necessary and encourage members of my family to follow my ideas and making them realize why this this is important to be more sustainable. And same way, consuming less goods made of plastic can be a good idea, since sometimes this material can end up in fish habitats. The need to be more sustainable is a matter of ethics, and recycling may not be the solution if I don't become a smart consumer. Firstly, in the society I belong to, it is very difficult to consume less plastic because everywhere I look, it is a path for generating more waste. For example, I continuously debate with myself about buying plastic water bottles at stores because I know it is wrong, since plastic most of the times build up in forests and rivers and does not degrade. Just in my hometown in Mexico, the river has been contaminated by many different objects made of plastic, like water bottles. And I carry this picture in my mind like nature is calling me out for my part increasing production. As a matter of fact, in the article, Can Recycling Be Bad for the Environment? Amy Westervelt highlights that recycling does not guarantee the solution to this problem. In contrast, in contrast, all these movements have encouraged people to buy more plastic because of the idea of being responsible through recycling. And I'm one of those persons that always thought um, just just by recycling plastic will be enough. And also, according to Westerville, the plastic industry's interest in recycling is twofold. Of course, on the one hand, by supporting recycling, the industry ensures a steady supply of new materials, and the other, it helps consumers to justify the consumption of more disposable plastic goods. Therefore, I think recycling is not about buying more reusable plastic or placing them in recycling bins, but finding ways to purchase fewer ATMs. For example, I'm trying to reuse empty bottles by filling them up with more water or drinking water from water fountains for more often. Just in the school, sometimes I, I bought a lot of bottled waters, and I just don't reuse them, you know. And this is one of the reasons I point this out. That just by doing these simple actions, we can make a radical change because it doesn't take me go beyond my possibilities. Instead, being committed to be sustainable will do. I don't call myself an environmentalist, but I'm willing to take responsibility. I have never had a sense of engagement to protect the environment, since in my community in Mexico, we don't have problems like air pollution, traffic, oil spills, or sometimes that could change my attitude towards becoming more green. Although one time the mayor of my hometown asked to stop contaminating the river or fines will be applied, then all the people started to find new ways to deal with their trash along with the authorities. I believe that the most of us were willing to face this problem because they knew the real value of the river. In my community, the majority of people work in agriculture and they depend on the river to irrigate their crops. Also, the river helps the town to generate money for infrastructure. Being a part of a community encouraged me to be conscious of its welfare because it will help my family as well. And I believe that this, it is the same passion with other communities who are facing environmental problems. For instance, throughout my experience, I have seen and read many stories about communities that started to find ways to be more sustainable. And specific in the article, Sustainable New Orleans: How Katrina Made a City Greener by Kate Bainfield. After the city suffered the consequences of Hurricane Katrina and Rita, their community struggled to rebuild their towns, and the lack of resources from the government made them to start their recovery by themselves. Despite the fact that this crisis doesn't compare with my hometown situation, it is the same outcome of commitment to change for good. Excuse me. Also, Banfield uh, points out that as David Simon notated in the interview reported in part 1 on this three-part blog series, the city resilient population has been slowly but surely coming back anyway, in a small part because of the strong sense of belonging to New Orleans feel their community. Thus, it should be a good idea to apply feelings for what we have in order to find its values, because I think it's the only way we can see clearly into the problem we are creating. Um, then my perspective will have a meaning, and then my perspective will have a meaning for start changing to methods that will help to live sustainable life, but also refers to the way of living of our communities. To conclude, I'm part of the problem because I live in a world uh, that become sustainable is not important, and 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 no one's like to take responsibility. Uh, and I'm in the process of changing my trends of being on being to become more sustainable, and it's gonna take me a lot to achieve goals that can make a big impact on the welfare of the environment. But I think by getting more educated and take this problem more seriously and as it is, will do, and we should take new ways of to live in different ways so we can see why it is important to become sustainable. And I think I'm gonna start. I'm taking this. I want to take this to the next level that I that I can feel more part of the problem. That I can feel more part of the solution than the problem. Thank you.